Rand Paul was asked a question about income inequality on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace, and he gave a horribly simplistic answer. So here's what he said. The thing is, income inequality is due to some people working harder and selling more things. If people voluntarily buy more of your stuff, you'll have more money. Yeah. So this is a standard right-wing concept. If you work harder, you'll make more money. And bottom line, it's flat out incorrect, because you're disregarding some very important macroeconomic factors, you're disregarding systemic factors, you're disregarding the fact that not everybody, it's not like, the economic system is not like a foot race where it's a 100-yard dash and everybody starts on the 0-yard line, you shoot a gun in the air and then everybody runs at the same time. That's not the way the system works, and anybody who really reflects on this and thinks about it can comprehend that very, very quickly. But unfortunately, this is one of the areas where libertarians are out to fucking lunch. And a lot of just, conservative Republicans as well. They go, oh, you work harder, you make more money, and that's the end of the conversation. Really? So how is it that, here's a good example, how is it that the richest 85 people in the world have more money, have more wealth than the bottom 3.5 billion people? How is that? So 85 people have more wealth than half the world. 85 people have more wealth than half the world. How is that possible? Well, if I take your idea here, your concept, and I quite literally try to apply it in this scenario, what's your takeaway? Well, they worked harder, man. Really? You're not even satisfied with that answer. You know you're not satisfied with that answer because it's untrue. How is that possible? How is it possible for those 85 people, oh my God, they just work so much more and so much harder than the other 3.5 billion? Is it even humanly possible for 85 people to work that much harder than 3.5 billion? You know that's not true. And I'm sure anecdotally, you've seen it in your own life. I know I've seen it in my life. Some of the people I know who make not that much money are the hardest working. Have you ever seen somebody who works 2 minimum wage jobs and bust their ass, but they still really don't make enough money to pay the bills? I have. And then also, think about, for example, people on Wall Street. There are plenty of people on Wall Street who were part of this subprime mortgage crisis and this Great Recession, and they caused it with these predatory loans, these adjustable rate mortgages. And they did not contribute X amount in productivity to the economy where it's justified that they take home $650,000. They just didn't. In fact, because of their decisions, the economy crashed. So they crashed the economy with their poor decisions, so they didn't produce anything for the economy. If anything, they were a siphon on the economy. They were a leech on the economy. And then when everything went to shit, what happened? The government rushed in and bailed them out. So wait a second, but if you're a true capitalist, and if you actually believe in this concept, then you'd be the first person to say, not only should all those Wall Street assholes be fired, but they should either be locked up or they should be fined all the money that they made in the past 8 years when they were part of this bubble and part of this boom, and they didn't really produce any wealth or anything of value for the economy. Again, I'm just saying, if you take Rand Paul's quote at face value and you implement it, well then, you should say the people on Wall Street should be making Dickie McGeezax now. Nothing, because they fucked up. They're not actually producing any wealth for the economy. And, I mean, look, we've gone over this before, but if you just take this idea and implement it. Oh, the harder you work, the more money you'll make, and it's that simple. That's where income inequality comes from. So let's say tomorrow everybody in the U.S. woke up and they were like, you know what, they're right, let's do this. So everybody who's working any job is like, I'm going to get that promotion. I'm going to bust my ass. So everybody does that. What's going to happen? Is everybody going to get the promotion? According to your theory, yes. Because you're just saying, hey, work harder, you'll get ahead, you'll make more money. Income inequality solved. That's it. You said it. Work harder. If you work harder, you'll get it. So people work harder. Is everybody going to get the promotion? Of course not. Why? Because you can't have an economy where there's, 300 million CEOs in America, because then who's going to do the rest of the work? So the system by design keeps some people down. So being that that's the case, and being that we always need people to do certain jobs, what's the real debate between the rational people? The real debate is, well, how much are we going to pay the people who have to do the jobs that nobody really wants to do? And liberals and progressives say, pay them a living wage. Pay them enough money so they can, survive. and afford to live and feed their kids. But guys like Rand Paul say, nope. Not even sure I'm for the minimum wage as it exists right now, which is too low. Many libertarians say, get rid of the minimum wage. Brilliant idea, man. Bring us back to like a feudal society. Bring us back to a Gilded Age. Give me a permanent underclass. And give me, the old robber barons with their fucking monocles and top hats as they sit there talking about, oh, the peasantry is acting up, aren't they? Oh, 6 of them got black lung last week. Oh. This is the kind of system that he wants to set up, and the sad thing is he doesn't even realize that is the kind of system he wants to set up. Now, you guys know, man, I agree with libertarians on 40% of stuff, maybe even 50% of stuff. But when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to the economy, they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Their head is up their ass, and they've bought into all the nonsense in the Austrian economics books. So, whether it's Hayek or von Mises or some people don't ever even graduate past Ayn Rand, which is like entry-level, be a selfish douchebag libertarianism. So it's just, you missed the mark. You're just wrong. And if we set up a system with these ideas, people would be fucking miserable because the overwhelming majority of people would be making nothing, and we'd exacerbate the problem of income inequality. So no, income inequality is not there because 0.01% of society just work that much harder than everybody else. No, it's much more complicated than that. And that doesn't even account for, final thing real fast, I know I'm dragging on, but that doesn't even account for the fact that inheritance, what about inheritance? How many Paris Hiltons are there out there? Donald Trump himself was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Again, it's not like everybody was born with the same amount of material well-being, and then it really was a battle of wits and a competition to see who can get further ahead, to see who's the better businessman or entrepreneur. No, a guy like Donald Trump's dad was worth $400 million. You gave him a $400 million head start, and everybody praises his business sense. Bitch, you give me a $400 million head start, I won't go bankrupt 4 or 5 times like he did. So you're disregarding so many factors, and you're living in your bubble, and your bubble is full of falsehoods, but you embrace it anyway because you care more about your ideology than you do about empirical reality. And it's pathetic.